They finally let him breathe and still gave him a car 7/10 too slow. Lewis Hamilton looked calmer in Zandvoort. He made it to Q3, he smiled, and his engineer praised the progress. But let's tell the truth, this is not good enough. Hamilton didn't come to Ferrari to be 0.728s off pole. He didn't leave Mercedes to celebrate P7. They called it a smoother weekend. But behind that quiet tone is the same old problem. Ferrari can't give him a car worthy of who he is. He adjusted his approach. He led the setup changes. He delivered cleaner laps, built confidence, avoided the chaos. And still, they're nowhere near the front. Worse, they're pretending it's fine. That being close to Leclerc means everything's okay. But Hamilton's not here to match Charles. He's here to beat everyone. So when he says, "We're not where we want to be," don't mistake it for patience. That's Lewis being polite, and everyone inside Ferrari should be nervous when he gets this quiet. What Ferrari calls progress, Hamilton calls survival. He changed his approach, arrived at Zandvoort more focused, more methodical. The first lap in practice, fastest of the session. The next, a spin. But that's what happens when a driver pushes a car that still resists him. Ferrari gave him a more stable setup. Great, except the trade-off? They killed the car's ability to rotate mid-corner under throttle. Telemetry shows it. Hamilton's SF25 was bleeding time in Sector 2, where rear-end stability becomes a liability, not a strength. Leclerc's setup was looser, more responsive, but also more fragile. Hamilton went for control. Ferrari gave him compromise. And yet, he adapted. He extracted a Q3 lap from a car that's still afraid of his driving style. That's not progress. That's Hamilton carrying the project on his back. And what did he get in return? A car 7/10 off pole and a pat on the back from Adami. Let's be honest. They're lucky he's still playing the team game. He looked calm, but listen closely. The frustration is coded. After qualifying, Hamilton didn't lash out. No sarcastic radio, no passive-aggressive interviews. But when he said, to be 7/10 off, that's a huge amount. That wasn't a reflection. That was a warning. Zandvoort isn't a power circuit. It's technical, tight, built for driver confidence. And Lewis? He extracted the maximum. Clean laps, smooth inputs, no drama. But the gap to pole? Still massive. And that exposes what Ferrari doesn't want to admit. The SF25 has hit its limit, and Hamilton is the one proving it. Because while the team sells progress, the stopwatch keeps exposing the truth. Even with his improved mental approach, even after leading setup direction all weekend, Lewis is still being let down by a package that refuses to evolve with him. That calm demeanor isn't surrender, it's calculation. He knows what he's doing, and soon, so will everyone else. Riccardo Adami said the weekend was stable, but who was he trying to convince? The team or himself? Behind closed doors, the tone is different. Sources in the paddock say Adami is under pressure. After the Monaco silence, the Spa fuel debacle, and Hungary's missed setup call, his position alongside Hamilton is no longer unquestioned. So now, after Zandvoort Q3, he plays it safe. He praises the process, highlights the collaboration. But Hamilton knows better. He's seen the data, he's felt the limits, and he's aware that stable isn't what wins titles. It's what protects reputations. Because if Ferrari admits the car didn't progress, then Adami's calm isn't strategy, it's sedation. And Hamilton? He's tired of being soothed. Every time he asks for sharper response, he gets delayed adjustments. Every time he builds momentum, they shift focus to Leclerc's rhythm. So when Adami praises the weekend, he's not talking to Lewis. He's talking to the system that still thinks it can manage this quietly. Inside Ferrari, unity is a performance. Division is the reality. Zandvoort exposed the split, not just in setup, but in philosophy. On one side, Hamilton and the small circle of engineers pushing for precision, responsiveness, and evolution. On the other, the old guard, conservative, loyal to Leclerc's style, clinging to the setup baseline that brought a single pole in Hungary and nothing more. Sources say the data room post Q3 had two tones. Hamilton's team analyzed forward, brake traces, delta overlays, high-deg simulations. Leclerc's side defended the package, blamed wind, track temp, the usual. And Adami? Caught in between. Publicly, he supports Lewis. Privately, he's being watched by both camps. Because every tweak he makes now is political. Every instruction is weighed. Is it for the project or for the driver? Hamilton knows this game. He played it at Mercedes and won. But Ferrari? They're not used to drivers who don't ask for permission. And in Zandvoort, Lewis didn't ask. He took what he could and made the gap smaller without their full support. Hamilton isn't waiting for Ferrari to change. He's forcing them to evolve or expose themselves trying not to. Every race now is a stress test, not of the car, but of Ferrari's leadership structure. Because when Hamilton outperforms expectations in a car that hasn't caught up, the question isn't just how, it's why is he still this far behind? And the answer keeps pointing back to the same place, a team still undecided who to follow. They say both drivers get equal treatment, but Zandvoort made it obvious. Lewis is operating with less car and more clarity. The engineering group is starting to split, not loudly, not in arguments, but in where their eyes go first when the data loads. On screen, Sector 2, Hamilton is smoother, earlier on throttle, burning less tire. Aero balance, he's running closer to neutral than Leclerc with better rotation. The quiet ones in the garage know what that means. They're seeing a driver outperforming the system. And once that happens, the only thing Ferrari can do is either back him or fall apart trying to pretend he's not leading. Ferrari keeps saying this is a long-term project, but how long can you ignore the driver who's already accelerating it? Hamilton isn't asking for headlines. He's asking for accountability. He changed his routine. He guided setup direction. He delivered clean runs and brought the car into Q3 while still driving with a deficit. And what did the team do? They smiled. They praised collaboration. They hid behind tone, not telemetry. But the numbers are loud. Leclerc had pole in Hungary. This weekend, 0.678s off. Hamilton, 0.728s. You don't drop that much because of track layout. You drop because the system is slipping, and only one driver is trying to hold it together. Inside the garage, younger engineers are shifting seats. They're pulling Hamilton's data first, running sim overlays off his throttle curves, because they know what's coming. If Monza becomes another statement weekend, Ferrari won't be able to hide behind equal treatment. The truth is emerging, quietly, sector by sector. And Hamilton isn't fighting Leclerc. He's losing presence. Zandvoort wasn't supposed to be symbolic, but it became exactly that. In Hungary, Charles was the hero, pole position, the chosen one. Now, behind Hamilton on raw pace in multiple stints, overshadowed by a timemate driving a car that still doesn't feel like his. And the paddock noticed. Leclerc's radio was silent after Q3. No celebration, no frustration, just emptiness. Meanwhile, Hamilton spoke of tweaks, mindset shifts, and starting on the better foot. He wasn't emotional, he was surgical. And that scares Ferrari more than any outburst could. Because when Lewis stops arguing and starts executing, you're not dealing with noise, you're dealing with inevitability. Even Adami's tone has changed. Shorter messages, more direct coordination with Hamilton's side. Less translation, more transmission. Ferrari's hierarchy was built on hope, but Hamilton operates on evidence. And if the weekend continues this way, the team won't just have a driver rivalry, they'll have a spiritual shift. And only one of them is adapting to it. This isn't about Zandvoort anymore. It's about what Ferrari does next, or refuses to. The garage is quiet. Too quiet. Hamilton delivered Q3. He pulled the team forward, not with raw speed, but with leadership. And yet the energy around him isn't celebration, it's calculation. Because inside Murano, they know what's coming. Monza, the home race, where pressure becomes performance, where silence becomes choice. And if Ferrari dares to treat another P7 as progress in front of the Tifosi, the illusion collapses. Hamilton's side is already preparing race day alternatives, alternate tire windows, alternate undercut models, alternate narratives. Because if the same old calls come over the radio, he won't play along again. This is no longer about learning the car, it's about shaping it, or walking away from a version of Ferrari that refuses to evolve. Zandvoort was proof of concept. Monza could become the ultimatum. Ferrari doesn't have a development problem. It has a decision problem. Hamilton gave them the blueprint, stability, setup clarity, driver-led direction. He proved that at Zandvoort, not with fireworks, but with fundamentals. He asked for nothing he didn't earn. He adapted, he led. And yet they're still playing catch-up with his vision. Now comes Monza, the cathedral, the cauldron. And this time the pressure won't be on Hamilton. It'll be on Ferrari to finally choose. Back the man who's already transforming the team from within, or cling to the comfort of a narrative that's falling apart race by race. Because Lewis isn't fighting Leclerc, he's fighting inertia. And if Monza becomes another weekend of cautious praise and technical excuses, don't expect Hamilton to smile through it. Expect a statement. One that won't come in words. It'll come in silence, in strategy, in sectors. Ferrari says it wants to win. Hamilton's just asking, with me or without me?